NRI contribution to Indian economy is significant because each transaction increases the country's foreign exchange. They have had an important role in the development of the country. Thousands of Indians migrate to other countries in the search of better prospects. They have been seen providing the financial assistance to the country in the difficult times. Today, we have one of those successful person, Arshi Ayub Mohammad Zaveri. She is the CEO of Trustwith Trade Group and a senior advisor at Royal Family Office in United Arab Emirates. Also a jury member at Women Global Expert Council at G World MENA, broad advisor at Global Mental Health Association, a potential senator at World Business Angles Investments Forum, and a World Peace Ambassador at Diplomatic World. In 1998, during the Pramanu prediction, Atal Bihari Vajpayee had himself appreciated the efforts of the NRI who gave India the strong pillars to move forward. We believe that Indian government would have realized the importance of these NRI and should definitely get reward for this. So, here's an exclusive interview with Chief Editor of Watan Samachar and Arshi Ayub Mohammad Zaveri. Over to you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. Today we have a special and amazing guest, Ms. Arshi Muhammad Ayub Zawaria. Arshi, first of all, we want to know what is your success story from education to CEO and Royal Family Office UAE. Please.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. Well, it's quite a journey. It's been an explorative one. We have done a lot of different and explored a lot of diversified industries, starting from real estate to oil and gas to energy, and now, of course, into other aspects as well, into digital, blockchain, upcoming fintech, artificial intelligence, education, sustainability. So it has been quite an explorative one, I would say. And of course, I think success or no, it's been really a journey of hard work and a lot of strength because be it in any part of the world, if you intend to build if you intend to build a successful business, it's always going to be challenging. And you have to go on accepting those challenges. So I would say, I think the success and acceptance of challenges and not just professional journey. So I think I look at it that way. And Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been very kind. Things are good. And of course, we're looking at other aspects to diversify and explore other businesses in every part of the world. So I would say success is more on the lines of accepting challenges and the fact that we are able to do it beautifully. Thank you.
What kind of challenges become and happen in your life?
I think challenges are more on the lines of work wise because, of course, we come from a society which is predominantly male in the work culture. So, of course, there are going to be a lot of challenges in terms, and be it male or female, entrepreneurship and building a business will always have challenges. So, as business owners, we really have to embrace those challenges and understand that every part of the way you will have something or the other. Not everything has to work out. So you have to have that in the back of your head and not take a lot of innuendos to your heart. So going along and carrying all the way is extremely important. So challenges in the sense, in stereotypical challenges, I would say predominantly because the industries that I'm particularly in are more male-centric industries, and you don't find a lot of women in front-end roles. But I'm hopeful, inshallah, in the times to come, we have more and more women in these sectors, and we see a different trajectory altogether.
Do you believe that Indian Muslim women are backward compared to other communities of the world? If yes, what are the reason and its solution?
Well, I don't necessarily think backward, but of course, they lack access and opportunity, visibility. We need to strengthen that as a community. And I think the solution is very simple. We as people change. We change, the others around us are also inspired to change. So we really have to change internally to be able to aspire and witness and make sure that that sentiment resonates in other people. So, for example, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum in 2012 had a law and regulation specific to women taking up board positions in companies that need to come out in every part of the world, and they need to make sure that we are women in all centers in mainstream work cultures need to come up and take these positions, educate themselves, and we as a society can change. Because I cannot say backward, but definitely lacking opportunity and visibility is something that we frequently witness.
Misashi Media reported to be you're associated with IMPA, an organization for the progress and reform of Indian Muslims. What is the reason for this and what is the future of IMPA?
Well, Impar, I think, is an amazing platform to have connected Muslims and mobilize their expertise for various programs and initiatives to really make a positive difference on the ground. I think collectively in communication, national level coordination, and really having that dialogue on socio political issues, management about Indian Muslims, and really creating that better understanding and opinions among people and communities to be able to mobilize education, awareness, national ethos, shared culture, rational thinking, scientific temperament, reforms, and positivity in the community is really the idea. And of course, creating much more and more of opportunities for men and women collectively. So I think definitely in the times to come, Empire aspires to be able to create that community and which really intends progress and reforms for men and women both.
Misashi, issue like Citizenship Amendment Act and possible NRC first time, often independent Muslim women came out on the road. How do you see it?
Well, freedom to express is extremely important, and so it is in solidarity and in a dignified manner. Protests are never unwelcomed in democracies. However, I think we need to remind ourselves that the idea really is to put your opinion forward and not engage in anything further than that. Respecting the law is very essential, as much it is to peacefully protest and discuss issues from the front. Ultimately, I think we have to remember as men, women, and as a society that working together is the only solution. So I think in unity we have to reconcile differences and really work together because that is the only solution.
Whom do you hold responsible for the backwardness of Muslim women in India? Do you think that the situation is different now and women are moving forward, improvement in education and other activities?
Well, I think it's very important to hold yourself responsible first. I think families need to make progress in education and make it more mainstream for women to come forward and embrace positions in their personal as well as professional capacity. Certainly, I think it's changing, and I'm hopeful in the times to come our children are able to better envisage a future wherein things are much more easy and accessible to women. And I think it's improving slowly and steadily because we as people are changing. We can't expect everything else to change unless we as people change. So it's really us who is responsible to be able to create that community and access and progress in our own self to be able to around it also do that. So very important to hold yourself responsible and change yourself. Only then communities around you, people around you can change as well.
Islamic teaching and hijab are hurdles in the way of the progress of Indian Muslim women.
Well, individually speaking, I don't think it is not definitely never a hurdle. Progress is defined really by the virtue of the human mind and its potential. Attire is a personal choice. Islam teaches you to dress modestly, and so do other religions. Not just Islam, but other religions also teach you to dress modestly. I think we need to be proud and embrace that because you shouldn't be looking for validation or trying to ape the other cultures, aping the West culture. We have to accept modesty in attire and embrace the teachings of Islam for your own well being because this is for a better life and we should remember that.
Believe that Indian media are making environment against Muslim. How are you seeing the way the Indian media is accused Muslim for spreading coronavirus?
Well, I think what media is doing is putting a point forward, and one may or may not agree, just like opinions. However, the reality is really the human behavior and also the circumstantial behavior of Muslims. Obviously, there is good and bad media propaganda. That is in every domain too. However, I think media should be very responsible when making statements or allegations. It should be based on facts and actuals and not as per their own whims and fancies. Staying true to maintaining integrity is very important, irrespective of any picture painted by the media. And I think we have to remember this finally that we will not be known for what the media projected, but we will be known for who we are. So we have to remember that.
What is your opinion about Shaheen Bagh protest?
There have been a lot of remarks and allegations that shouldn't have been there. Like I said earlier, peaceful rebuttal is always welcomed in every democracy. And at the same time, we have to remember that the pandemic does not see people with specific religions. The pandemic, we are all vulnerable. So coming forward and accumulating at this time is definitely something not feasible because we are risking ourselves and our families and our communities. We're risking an entire nation if we are coming forward and accumulating, consolidating in groups. Definitely, a protest is something which each democracy, like I said, is always welcoming. But we have to be very cognizant. Let us
Do
at
you
risk.
have any plan for the advancement of Indian Muslims,
Well, definitely,
especially
I
women?
think, well, for sure, I think the idea is that we focus on education and safety because these are the two pressing concerns at the moment. We need to educate Indian women. We need to educate in terms of general also, irrespective of gender. Education is something that should be mainstream for every household, irrespective of what it is. Education needs to be there for every child. We need to be focused on safety because, of course, safety right now more than ever is required. We have to be secure, our families secure, and we are working in conjunction with the state and central governments on various initiatives. And I think we'll be in a position to make some public disclosures in the times to come, individually from our own side, focused on education and safety. So, inshallah, I think these are all based on upcoming technology, and we are hopeful that people are able to adapt because ultimately it's for their own good.
In your opinion, what is the formula for the development of Indian Muslims? And what is the future of Indian Muslims?
Well, I think the future is really based on our present and intended set of actions. I think that's what our future is really based off. Peace and stability are really the pillars of Islam, and I think we should collectively try to maintain that in our personal and professional capacities. We are have to educate ourselves, work hard each day, be secular, and respect every human being, irrespective of gender or religion, because that is what Islam truly teaches us. So I think in a more forward state, definitely we're hopeful that people are able to adapt these basic qualities, these basic teachings of the religion, and use it for the benefit of mankind irrespective of religion. Use it for the benefit of mankind. Very, very important. And we have to keep reminding ourselves of that.
Visashi, what is India's image after media propaganda against Muslims and spreading coronavirus?
Well, I think, like I said, media is the image that is really just a projection of propaganda and opinions. I think the idea is that we stay close to reality and we are hopeful that the spread of the pandemic can be controlled. People and government can reconcile their differences and, together humanity at large can win because that is what we truly stand for. And of course, our relationships are extremely strong with the Middle East and India. We have a very strong relationship. We're hopeful that internally they are able to reconcile their differences and sort of come together. And like I said, with or without a religion specific, the pandemic does not see a religion. The pandemic only, we all are vulnerable. We are all risking ourselves, our families, and everybody that we are close to and of course people who we are not as well because we have to be aware that this is harmful for everybody and we are all exposed, so stand united because that is how together we can really win.
Do you think media should be responsible?
Well, I think, like I said earlier, media needs to be extremely responsible, and their arguments should be based on actual facts and actual reality rather than personal opinions or personal whims or fancies. And it's very important because they come from a very important place and they should definitely be very responsible. But again, propaganda, like I said, the reality is that we will be remembered for who we are and not for what the media projected. So we change ourselves, we able get better, we improve ourselves, and we are able to really come out with the correct image of a Muslim society because we stand for peace, we stand for humanity, mankind, irrespective of religion. That is extremely important. Definitely, education, like I said, is extremely important, and every state, every country needs to collectively strive to ensure that everybody is educated, kids are educated, make it more and more mainstream in families to ensure that children, young girls and boys, all of them get educated because every child deserves to be educated. And of course, they deserve to have a chance at their own living. So, in my opinion, education is something that needs to be prime.
Our GDP is decreasing. Being a businessman, what is your opinion?
Well, I think the GDP numbers are all something that have also been come out in facts and figures. But of course, we are hopeful and we are looking forward that the pandemic can really the effects of the pandemic can be controlled, the impact can be controlled. GDP has not just in a particular country. We all have had the downfalls of the pandemic, and I think in once the things get better, every nation will resurrect. Every nation will encourage progress and development, and India is no different. I think the people and the state government, central government is collectively striving so that we are able to come out of this pandemic together, and it can only be better once things are in control. So every nation has been devastated with the pandemic. It's not just one country, but only together. It's only when we stand united, we are responsible, we can come out of it, inshallah.
People are blaming media is spreading to heads. And one side, our GDP is decreasing day by day. What is the chance of investment in our country? NRIs are hopeful, peoples are hopeful, but the situation is heads.
Well, I think, like I said, a pandemic, a virus does not contaminate you based on your religious belief. And I think Prime Minister Modi is an incredible orator and commander in chief. Certainly, everybody is vulnerable, and he's also mentioned in the recent past, Prime Minister, that we are all open to contracting it. So, I think, in our personal opinion, I would say that we have to be careful and work in conjunction with the government, for they are constantly trying to make our lives better, and physical distancing, complying with the laws and efforts of the government in every state is very important, because we can speak about progress, economic stability, GDP only after we come out of this pandemic. Right now, we have the pressing concern is to deal with the pandemic. And people need to take charge, be responsible, be generous for the underprivileged, and remember that we have to stand united. All of us together, irrespective of gender or religion, stand united, because only all of this only makes sense if we are able to save mankind and we can come out of this pandemic. So, very important to remember that and work in conjunction with the efforts of the government, because every state is trying their level best to contain it, and we need to work along with them. Very important.
In brief, if you have any message for us and our audience and our countrymen.
I would reiterate what I just said. Physical distancing and masks are extremely important. Your health is in your own hand, but also the health of your families and your communities is in your hands. So be extremely responsible. And when I say responsible, it's for everybody. It's for business owners, it's for people, it's for families, it's for governments. Everybody needs to be responsible. Try not to spread fake information, because this we are living in times which are extremely vulnerable, and I think we need to be responsible in everything that we say, do, or aspire to do. We have to really be extremely responsible. Make sure that we are protected, we are healthy, our families are healthy, and try to work and reconcile with the differences that we have. It will only escalate the situation, but if we try to reconcile differences with each other, it is only then that we can come out successful.
Have any appeal or any request to our government, especially our Prime Minister?
Well, I think, like I said, our Prime Minister is an excellent commander in chief, and I think the efforts of the state government and central government are incredible when they're trying to control the spread of the pandemic. And for people and for everybody, try and work with each other, because it's so important that we try and help each other, because alone the government can't do everything. We as people need to be responsible. It's a population, it's a very huge population, and the fact that Prime Minister himself is with this huge responsibility of leading this nation of 1.3 billion people. So, of course, we are blessed to have a Prime Minister who's constantly, and the efforts of the government state-wise also are continuously for the people. And this people need to also reciprocate. They need to be responsible, and they need to work with the government. Try not to pit yourselves against the government, work with the government, because this government is for you. It's a democracy. This is a government for the people. And I think in helping each other is extremely important. Help each other irrespective. Definitely, that is something that I would say.
After Delhi riot and after CEA protest, people are arresting, youths are arresting, a lot of allegations against them. People are telling our democracy is under threat and dangerous.
Conflict is not going to benefit anybody. Peaceful protest and solidarity is extremely important. But we have to work with the government, reconcile differences, because that's what a democracy truly is for. And this is a government elected by the people. So we have to remember that. We can't particularly blame regulations or laws ourselves and try to play the blame game. We have to remember this is a government which has been elected by the people, and we respect our own election. We have to work with the government, try not to create unnecessary conflict, because that's not going to benefit anybody. So try to work with the government, support each other, because that's what you have to truly do in a democracy.
Thank you so much to joining us, Ms. Arshi. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.